Hi babes, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm bringing you guys this holiday glam. I have promised I'd be doing holiday glams for you guys, and hopefully I got this up maybe a few days before Thanksgiving. That way you guys have enough time to practice it if you are a beginner, or if you're like, girl, I got this, let me just follow this on the day of Thanksgiving, then hopefully it's not too long for you. But if you want to know how to create this look, then just please keep on watching. All right babes, so we're gonna get right into it, and I'm just go ahead and apply some concealer onto my eyelids to prep for shadow. Now for my palette, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Cosmetics Stay Neutral palette. And for the first eyeshadow, I'm going to, I think I closed my palette after setting it with, I'm not setting it, but spraying alcohol on it. So it has a little bit of smudges, ignore that. But the shadow I'm going to be taking is Oak. So that is the shade right here. And for the brush, I'm going to go ahead and use the Makeup Shack T83 discount code Erika for 20% off. For Lorella, I also have a code and it is MUA Erika. And now I'm going to just go in right on my crease and start packing that on. And I know it looks a little messy right now. It's okay. Don't get scared by that. Alea woke up. So I went ahead and packed that onto both eyes. But now I'm going to go ahead and start blending that out. And I'm going to slightly pull that out, but not too much, just a little bit. And just make sure that you don't take this all the way up to the brow. But you guys see I'm pulling it out a little bit from my eye. I'm just trying to blend that out a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and darken up this eye just as I did on this one. And I took the shade Buns, which is the shade right here, on a Makeup Shack T82. So I'm just taking that right under the shade Oak that I had already placed just to darken up my crease. So you guys see how I'm not covering up that first shade. You just want to take it under, like I said, just to give that crease some depth. But don't cover up your first shade, because then, what was the point of you even putting that down? So just be careful when you guys are adding this next one. Next, I'm taking the shade Dust, which is the shade right here, on a Makeup Shack T68. And I'm just going to go right on the edge right here and soften the edge up a little more just by blending that out. Next, I'm going to be smoking the eye out just as I did right here on my lid. And I'm going to use the shade Espresso, which is this really dark, like chocolatey brown over here. So I'm going to take the brush T49 from the Makeup Shack. And I'm just going to pat that shade on. So right on the lid where I didn't have much shadow is where I'm adding it. So now we're going to be adding glitter. Now I would recommend you use the Makeup Shack T69, which is a silicone head brush. However, I can't find mine, so I'm going to just use the Makeup Shack T49. And for my glue, I'm going to be using the Makeup Shack Glitter Glue, which is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this onto my metal palette. And now I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T49. Once again, I recommend you use the T69. But I'm going to take that brush and I'm just going to pat down my glue. And for my glitter, I'm using the NYX glitter in the shade 08. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of my glitter. And I'm just going to pack that on. But you don't want to pack it on top of each other. You kind of want to scatter it out. Because when you do pack it all on, not on each other. If you pack on a lot on one part of the eye, it does tend to clump up. So make sure that you are scattering it and not clumping it all onto one section of your eyelid. So just lightly pat that everywhere. Next, I'm going to take a makeup wipe and clean up the edge right here. So I'm just going to wrap that around my finger, and I'm just going to leave a clean edge just by swiping it like this. For my lashes, I'm using the XO Beauty Babes lashes, and these are in the style Flossy. So just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the Araceli Beauty Ojos Perfectos pencil eyeliner in the shade Chocolate. And I'm going to add that on my top waterline. You could also use a black gel pencil for this. You don't have to use brown. Now I do already have moisturizer on my skin, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my primer. I'm using the Flawless Stay Poreless Primer from Beauty Creations. I do have a discount code with them, and it is also Erika, so y'all can save some money. But now I'm gonna just go ahead and take some of this and just apply that to my skin. I like to focus a good amount of that onto my nose, just so that it can blur out my pores. I don't want it, you know, to be too visible. Now I do have a tan, so my foundation is going to be darker. So I'm going to be using the Beauty Creations Flawless Stay Foundations in the shade 5.0 and 4.0. I use less of 4.0, but I'm going to be mixing both of them. So let me just mix those shades up and then we'll go ahead and get that started. For my sponge, I'm going to be using the Makeup Shack Beauty Sponge, and I'm going to be using the bottom base for it. So I'm just going to take that, and I do like to work in sections. So I'm going to start on this side of my face, and I usually just work my way this way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and highlight, and I'm gonna be using the Born This Way concealers. So I have two of them. I'm gonna be mixing the shades Natural Beige and Light Beige. Natural Beige is light, but to brighten it up a little more, I use the shade Light Beige. So this one is Natural Beige. And you guys see how it is, you know, lighter than the foundation, but I do want it to be a little lighter than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Light Beige on top of it. So this one right here is Light Beige, and now I'm just gonna take a little more of that and add it around the Natural Beige. Now going back to my sponge, I'm gonna just go ahead and use this side to go ahead and blend that out. Now when I'm blending the edge right here where I'm getting near the shadow, I do take the T77 and I just clean that up the way I did on this side. Now I can't really get too close with it with the sponge because I don't want to get the sponge in my eyeshadow. So that's why I just take the brush and I'll just take it and clean it up just like this. Did you guys hear Aubrey? Now, once I do that with the brush, I go back with the sponge and I just make sure it's well blended. And I just take it right on that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and contour, and I'm gonna be using the Dose of Colors contour, or the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer. That's what I meant to say, in the shade 23 Dark. Now, I'm gonna add this to my metal palette, and then I'll be applying it with a brush. So for my brush, I'm gonna be using the Makeup Shack T37. And I'm just gonna take that and add that wherever I need to contour and snatch my face up. Now I'm also adding that to my nose. You know, we like snatched noses over here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out using this side of the Makeup Shack sponge. And I'm just go in and pat that out. Make sure that you are using your sponge damp and not wet. Also, do not be using it dry. The proper way to use a sponge is damp. And that does not mean spray your sponge with setting spray. I mean, actually take it under some, I was gonna say soap and water. Actually take it under water. It's not the same thing using setting spray as it is actually putting it under water. So just make sure that you're having your sponge damp. To blend out my nose contour, I like to use the Makeup Shack T73. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and blend that out. And I do push that up towards the front of my brow just to follow the natural shape of your nose, or my nose in this case. Now I usually go back in with whatever brush I used for my brows, which is the Makeup Shack T77. And I open my nose back up right here by adding some, I was gonna say highlight. Well, it is highlight, but it's concealer. Just like that. And then I go back in with the T73 and I just blend that out a little more. Then I go back in with the sponge and I once again use the side that I used to highlight. So for the concealer. But I just take that sponge and I go right in to blend those edges out a little more. Now that we have that done, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face using these two. This is the RCMA No Color Makeup. I mean, RCMA No Color Powder. Oh my god, I don't know what I was saying. And the Milk Makeup Setting Powder. This is the Blur and Set Matte Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent Medium. So I do just mix them both into each other on my metal palette. And I'm gonna just go in and start setting my under eyes. That is the very first area that I set. And I also go in and set my entire face. Now to contour my face back up with some powder, I'm going to be using the Makeup Shack Silhouette Contour Palette, which you guys know is my ride or die. I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Bronze. Oops, no, sorry, not Bronze. Sunkissed. That's what I'm going to be using. On the Araceli Beauty Grande Cheek Brush. So I'm going to just take that and go over wherever I contoured, except for my nose. My nose is already pretty contoured, so I'm not going to touch that part. But I'm just going to go over everything else. Using the Makeup Shack T65, I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Light, which is this one right here. And I'm going to brighten my nose back up simply by taking that right at the center and on the bridge. Next, I'm taking a separate Grande Cheek Brush and some blush. For today's blush, I'm going to use the Dandelion Blush. I was going to say brush. From Benefit Cosmetics. So I'm just going to take some of that and add it right to the apples of my cheeks. I have like a little pimple right here and it actually hurts. So me doing this is like bothering me. And I'm gonna take the shade Oak, which is the very first shade that we used, and just smoke that out at the bottom. Now still using this same brush, I'm gonna go into the second shade, which was Buns. And I'm once again just gonna darken that up. I seriously hate those dumbass cars. Next, I'm taking the Makeup Shack T66 and the shade Espresso, which was that dark brown. And I'm gonna smudge that on the edge of my lash line just to smoke it out a little more. Next, I'm going back into the Araceli Ojos Perfectos Chocolate Eyeliner. And I'm just adding this on my lash line so it can blend into my eyeshadow. If you use black, you can also use a black, or you can just use brown or both. It's fine to use either. And lastly, we need some mascara on our lashes. I have the Lily Lashes Triple X mascara. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not my favorite foundation. It's not my favorite mascara, but I already have it, so I might as well use it. So for my lip liner, I went ahead and used the Morphe Bite Me lip liner. And I love this one, guys. Do you guys see how tiny it is? Like, this thing is so small. And this is probably my third one just in this like year. I use it a lot. Now for my lipstick, I'm going to go ahead and use the Dose of Colors Supernatural lipstick. I just blend my lips together. And then I retouch the lip liner. And now I'm also going to be adding gloss. And guys, the Makeup Shack came out with their own glosses. I'm so excited to be showing you guys this. I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but I wanted to share it with you guys here on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and check her out. They have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 14 glosses, guys. Oh my God. So let me look at and see which one I actually want to use. But let's see. Ooh, I think I'm gonna be using this one, or this one, or that one. I'll use one of these two. These are so cute. So I grabbed the shades, what is it? Gossip and Nuditude. So this one's Gossip and this one's Nuditude. Do you guys see how this one's a little lighter than this one? But, actually I think I'm gonna be using Nuditude. So I'm going to swatch both of them on my hand so you guys can see those two. Now the reason I chose these is because it goes a little more with the look that I already have. And I do want to mention that these are not like sticky. Do you guys know how some glosses, when you like do this, they stick a lot? These are not like that. I did test them before, you know, way back when they were still working on them. And that was one thing that they were trying to achieve, you know, a gloss that wasn't tacky. So these are the two shades. Nuditude is the one on the bottom, and then Gossip is the one right here at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the bottom one. Now, you don't need to use a lipstick underneath. You can just throw the gloss on with some lip liner. But I did want to use that other shade. So, oh my god, guys, I was so excited for them. Like, you guys know I love the Makeup Shack. And I'm so happy that they brought out some I was gonna say, I'm so happy they brought out some launches. I'm so happy they brought out some glosses. So I'm a little too excited, guys. Now I'm just go ahead and set my face as well as wipe off this because I don't want to get it on my clothes. And I will come back to close out this video. So I did my best to get up this video before Thanksgiving. That way you guys can have, you know, a holiday look to follow if you have no idea what to do. And I hope it was easy enough for you guys to, you know, follow with me. Let me know your guys' comments down below. And I will be doing more for, I was gonna say Thanksgiving, for Christmas and New Year's. Hopefully I wanna get up at least 2 or 3 looks. And let me know what you guys want to see. I really like this look and I did it for my students, so I also wanted to share it with you guys. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't already, please follow me on oh my god, guys, I can't. It's the braces. I'm sorry, but follow me on my Instagram. It is Muaerika18. It is always linked below, as well as my discount codes. Subscribe, turn on your post notifications, drop me a comment. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Hey, I look better than what I've been through.